30 different Qurans. How in the world did they get to the number 30? You'd want to know why, don't you? Or how? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you right now.
I think by now, and I think we're up to number 63 in this particular series, the longest series we've ever done, and rightfully so, because it demands that we pay close attention to a lot of the aspects concerning the historical development of the Quran, the historical critique of Islam, the holes in the standard Islamic narratives, and basically the list can go on and on and on. In the last couple of episodes alone, we've been paying close attention to the damage inflicted on this principle or concept that the Quran is a perfectly preserved book. And I think by now you should know that that's far be it from the truth. There is no such thing as a perfectly preserved Quran. And if that's the case, I would challenge any of my Muslim friends or anyone to present to us 7th century complete copy of the Quran that matches today's 1924 Hafs edition. Even that have problems. But let's hold off here and let our dear brother Dr. J unpack all of this for us. Dr. J, as always, thank you so much and welcome back.
Thanks to have me. So we're talking about these Qira'ats that Hatun put up. She put up 26 in 2016. She's up to now 37, 30 official ones and 7 others from the Hafs derivations that were created in Egypt between 1924 and 1936. Let's look and see historically how these came about. And this is what Muslims don't know. And this is why the graph that I'm going to be showing you, I'm going to be putting up on the screen. Look at this graph and you will see just how damaging this idea is. So let's start it. Let's all go to the screen and let's look at the 30 official Qira'at. Qira'at means readings and transmitters. These would be the riwayat. So let's look at the first 7. These are the 7 that all the Muslims talk about as the Qira'at. These are the creme de la creme, as Yasir Qadi calls them. And what Muslims will tell you is that these 7s are 7 companions or 7 codices that are 7 dialects that existed at the time of Muhammad himself. When Muhammad was getting these revelations, he would then recite it to the companions. Many of the companions came from other parts of the Arab-speaking world, and they didn't understand the Qurayshi dialect. They couldn't understand what he was saying. So according to tradition, Muhammad then went to Jibril, the angel, said, could you give me some more of the dialects? And Jibril gave him 7 more dialects, or 6 more dialects. So now there were 7 dialects. And so these are the 7. These are the 7 that you see here. Now just read them. Let's just go down through the list. You have Nafi from Medina. And then you have Ibn Kathir from Mecca. That's Medina and Mecca. You have Abu Amr from Basra. You have Ibn Amir al-Dimashqi from Damascus. You have Asim Ibn Abi al-Najud from Kufa. Kufa is in Iraq. Hamza al-Zayyat from Kufa, which is in Iraq. Al-Kisa'i from Kufa, which is in Iraq, right?
That is interesting because you see a lot of them north except just for 2, one Medina and one Mecca. And you would think these are the 2 that should be prominent.
Wait a minute, hold on a minute. North? Was Muhammad ever up there?
No.
So he never ever was in Kufa. He never was in Damascus. He never went up that high. There was no Islam in any of those cities at this time. This is all before 632. So there's a problem here. Mecca, Medina, yes, possibly, if Mecca existed. But even so, if you're going to go with the standard Islamic tradition and you're saying these are the 7 that existed who were companions of the Prophet, they're already from cities that the Prophet never lived in, or that Islam hadn't even entered yet, not this early.
Yeah. And even if they come back and say, well, these are people that came to visit him, memorized the Quran, and wait a minute, we're not aware of a full Quran by the time of his death. How did they know this?
Hold on a minute.
And second of all, even the tradition that says that the Quran was revealed in 7 ahruf wasn't even known to Umar ibn al-Khattab, wasn't even known to Ubay. Go figure.
Ubay ibn Ka'b. Now, look, to make this and really underline this, look at the dates they died. Let's go to the dates. So Nafi died in 785. 785. Muhammad died in 632. Ibn Kathir died in 738. Abu Amr died in 770. Ibn Amir died in 736. That's the closest you're going to get to Muhammad.
Right.
Asim died in 745. Hamza died in 772. Al-Kisa'i died in 805. Hold on a minute. These are all 8th and 9th century.
Right.
These are over 100 years, in some cases 150 years after Muhammad, 180 years after Muhammad. None of these men knew Muhammad. So you cannot say that these are the companions of the Prophet. They're not even the same century Muhammad lived.
Not even the companions would have lived that long anyway.
There you go.
Yeah.
So and this is what you won't find in Wikipedia. When you put this, I got this from Wikipedia, but the dates aren't there. I had to go and research every one of these dates. You've got to show the dates. So people, take this slide that I'm putting up and you print it off and take it down to your Muslim friend. But notice what's missing in those 7. Do you notice a name that is missing?
Hafs.
He's not there.
Yep.
This is the one that is the standard that's been used for the whole world. Where is his name amongst these 7? And look and see where these 7 were chosen. Who chose these 7? Muhammad? No, his name is Ibn Mujahid. He chose them, and look at the date that he died. He died in 936. That is the 10th century. He chose these 7 in the 10th century. This is 300 years after Muhammad. None of these 7 he chose actually knew Muhammad, even lived in the same century. But we still don't have this guy, the one that is now the official for the whole world. So where did this one come in? Let's look at the next group, because there were so many of these Qur'ans. Because remember, every one of these characters that was creating a Qur'an put his name to it. So you would put your dots where you wanted to, you would put your 3 vowels where you wanted to, and you call it your own after your name. Al-Fadi. I come along and I'm living in another city, and I live in Basra, you live in Kufa, and I live in Basra. And I said, no, I don't like your dots. I'm going to put my dots here, and I'm going to put my vowels here. And then I call it the Smith one. Fortunately, it's not up there. And by this time, everybody starts doing this. The one who has done the work on this, and he's the one who's probably the one that we have to go to, Nasser. What's his name? First name?
Shadi Nasser.
Shadi Nasser.
Dr. Shadi Nasser, wonderful scholar.
And he did his doctoral thesis on this. He said that there could be as many as 700 of these that came about. That's why Ibn Mujahid was given this responsibility. However, then you have in 1194. So 1194, you have these 14 that were chosen. 2 for each one of the first 7.
These are the transmitters of those Qira'at technically.
Riwayats. We know them as riwayats. Each of the Qira'ats have 2 students.
So you have Qur'an and Rawis.
So Nafi has Qalud and Warsh. Then coming on down number 5, Asim has Shuba and Hafs.
And Jay, tell people, what was the criteria to select those?
The criteria was which of these students had the most students. In other words, it was done by popularity.
So if it was for today, who has the most subscribers on YouTube?
That's what
and Twitter followers.
You would go
and Facebook. I'm a Qari right now and a Rawi, man.
You would be a Qira'at, I would be a Riwayat. And so that's why it's so important that you look at, you do not choose a book as authoritative on who has the most students. You open the book and see which is the one that is exactly like the other one. None of these are alike. They're all completely different. But that didn't stop there in the 12th century. This is 1197 that Al-Shatibi chose these 14. In 1429, then, you get this group, and this is Al-Jazari. Al-Jazari is probably the Muslim world's authority on the Qira'at, and he is the one that chose 3 more Qira'ats, and for each Qira'at, he had to choose 6 riwayats, and you can see them, they're in purple there, so that makes it now another 9. But that is 1429. What that means, this is the 15th century, this is 800 years later. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is hugely significant. 800 years later, we finally get the 30. These then become the official 30. 10 Qira'ats and 20 riwayats. 10 plus 20 makes 30. By the 15th century, then they closed down the Qira'ats, chosen by these 3 men.
So let's repeat. At least the 7 green ones were selected by Ibn Mujahid based on popularity.
Right.
So it's not based on accuracy. It's not based on what the Prophet really revealed.
They didn't open one book to look at one word. They didn't open one book to look at one sentence. They didn't compare it with the other to see if they were the same. And that was their mistake. That's why the Muslims don't know what to do today. They did not do their job. You do not choose a manuscript or a book dependent on who is the most popular person in that group. Now, let's look at Hafs, because Hafs is the one that is chosen. So let's put Hafs up there. How many differences would you guess between Hafs and the other 29? What would you guess off the top of your head?
In thousands?
A few thousand?
Yeah.
Okay. You'd be happy with a few thousand?
I mean, one will be a problem.
No, even one word, even
right.
one difference.
Exactly.
One difference would shut down all the arguments of not one word, not one letter, not one harf,
Exactly.
not one surah, not one ayah has been changed, right? Which all the scholars are saying, which even the YouTubers are saying. You want to know how many differences there are? Now, this is what Hatun has done with her team in London. They were the ones, and they're all Arab speakers. They've gone through and they've just accumulated. It's taken them years to do this, to find out how many differences there are between Hafs and the other 29. And here's the answer. Let's look at the screen. Boom, boom, boom. 93,263 differences. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's at least whatever they were able to finish so far.
That's all they've come up with so far. We don't even know if there's maybe another 10 to 20,000 more than that. But 93,000 differences between Hafs, 93,000 different words, 93,000 different meanings. How different? That's the next episode.
And that includes jots, tittles,
dots,
rasm, a lot of things.
Not rasms. These are just dots and vowels.
Okay.
Just dots and vowels.
Wonderful. And we're going to be exposing some of that in the next.
We're going to get the rasm later on with Dan Brubaker's material, but just dots and vowels right now in the Qira'at. That's in the next episode.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Until next time, this is Al-Fadi. Over and out. God bless. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, CIRA International, and click on the bell so that you receive notifications whenever we publish a new video or go live. I would also like to appeal to you to consider becoming a Patreon patron by clicking the link right below. By doing so, you can give towards the production of these videos. There are also other options for you where you can give to our channel. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.